I'm Daniel Gutierrez with LasVegasDailyPost.com, and we're back here for segment 2 with Brett Baughman. Brett Baughman, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Daniel.
All right, Brett, you ready to rock and roll, bud?
I definitely am. Let's have some fun.
All right, let's do it. So now, Brett, you've also developed a program that has a really interesting name that when I hear it, I think that it really sets the light bulb on and above people's heads and really creates an idea and also develops question marks as well and gives them the opportunity to, just with the title alone, to start becoming more creative and forcing them to think a little bit more and continue to develop. So it's called The Ideal You. So that name really rings a bell with me. So why don't you give us a little bit more background, a little bit more information on how you developed that program?
Sure. Thanks, Daniel.
Of course.
You know, it's very interesting. When I got into NLP, when I found NLP many, many years ago, I originally found it's very funny because I originally found it in a what was it? Psychology for Dummies book, or NLP for Dummies book. I was searching for what it meant. What was NLP? I'd heard the word and couldn't really find it, and found this book, and it was so dumbed down that I got it really quickly. But you know, these two gentlemen created NLP, Bandler and Grinder. And to make a long story short, my mentor, Tad James, learned directly from these guys. They're the same guys that Tony Robbins learned from as well. Very powerful, incredible what they do. They're able to make change rapidly with people in any extreme situation. And so when I learned from Tad, I chose him because of that. And being second generation down from these guys and hearing how Tad had worked with them and how impactful it was, and he's extremely successful. He's the head of the NLP board around the world. He's head of the hypnotherapy board. So, you know, very diligent, very inspired and passionate person about helping people. So knowing him, I was like, I want to do the same thing. NLP is modeling excellence. I wanted to take what he did, evolve it, enhance it, and have my own process, and then whatever inspired me from there, go beyond.
Absolutely. So, when you acquire that much information, it's only natural to want to share it and express it to everyone else and educate them, inform them, and help get other people up to a higher level as well. That's very important.
I always joke and say fix them. Because when you first learn this, you get out and you want to try to fix everybody. That's when you think your job is, you're like, oh my gosh, my family has these problems, I'm going to fix them. And you realize it's not fixing anybody. There's nothing wrong with anybody. They come to you and ask you when you want something, but you're so excited to share it. So I went home after I learned, after I'd gone through my master practitioner. And I kept thinking about it. Tad had created this process called timeline therapy. It's pretty amazing. It talks about how our mind's been proven scientifically that it stores information in a timeline. It's different for everybody, but it allows you to do kind of regression therapy, future pacing therapy, and you can actually go through traumatic experiences and change the emotional event and educate yourself so it's different. And so it's not as impactful, and it can be either empowering or you can remove it if it's hurting you. When he learned he'd done this, he wrote a book about it and how it affected him and how successful it made him. I was like, I want to do something like that. I think anybody who's an innovator, anybody who's a visionary, wants to do something that changes the world.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what is going to be my thing? And so I literally, I swear to you, it's so funny. I went home and I sat, I was living in Irvine, California at the time, and I think I probably ate twice in a month. I went home, all I did was work. I started developing, writing, and I was like, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit and I'm going to constantly brainstorm and come up with ideas and ask myself questions and impose a solution and think of innovating that solution. I literally remember sitting in my chair like this, with my head cocked back and just thinking, and then coming up with something and writing it and thinking. And I remember this moment. It was in April of about 2007, 2008. And as I slouched down in my chair from doing it, I was getting back in the role there. It came to me. I had always been intrigued with the thought of information, life after death, where we go, what's our purpose in life, where we come from. So I'm like, there's information, and everything we've learned in physics, quantum physics, and science says that information doesn't disappear except for in a black hole. And I'm a big follower of Stephen Hawking and Einstein, and so I was like, well, there's got to be something there. And so what I started looking for was, if we can use timeline therapy that Tad created to go back, and I've done tremendous things with people with this, where they've had things that have been troubling them for 40, 50 years, and I go in and in 10 minutes we do something and it's changed for life. So I thought, that means you can, somewhere in your mind, go back in time. And I've gone forward and helped people create things and create a vision and actually step into it after doing the work. So I thought, information's got to go somewhere. What if we could put a memory into our future, past our life? So
does that highly negatively affect people's lifestyles if they have things in their past let's say they've even forgotten about, they're not even thinking about it
repressed
anymore. So if it's repressed and that energy stays with them and kind of anchors them back, essentially.
Yes. It's proven, a couple things. One, it's proven that any negative emotion is 10 times stronger on your body than any positive emotion. So whether you pay attention or not, it's dragging down your energy. People say, I don't have any energy, I'm tired, you feel like you're aging, a lot of different things. It's completely, every category you can think of, it's negative for you. In addition to that, it closes out the faculties of your mind in certain areas. You don't grow their synapses. And then when you want to change or think differently, you end up getting stuck in a hole because you kind of, it's like if you don't ride a bike, it's like you got to use it or you lose it.
Okay, right.
So these certain things, when you stop believing it or repress this emotion or this event, you don't learn from it, and it just stops, and it becomes almost like a handicap.
Okay, so you're essentially utilizing a negative and turning it into a positive to help propel you even further. So
usually
it's an educational aspect.
Yeah, usually the negatives there are the bad experience because there was something that was so emotionally impacting in that moment that rather than dealing with what you needed to deal with to find a solution or educate yourself to decide better in the future, you suppress it and ignore it because the emotions hurt. I believe emotions are a marker to tell you to do something or not do it. Simple as that. If you feel good, do it. Because, a great emotion, it lasts a few minutes anyway, right? As great they are, they fade. They're saying, keep going here. When you feel sad, you shouldn't hold on to it forever. Sadness should go. There's something you need to learn there.
That kind of reminds me of what Bruce Lee said. The first thing that comes to mind is be like water.
Yes.
So essentially allows you to adapt and move forward and continue to grow.
Flexibility is power.
Absolutely. Very cool.
And so
that.
with the thought of this, could we potentially put a memory into our future life, wherever we go after we die? I was like, maybe there's a way to do that. And I just started playing with that, and then all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute. This thought came to me, and I thought, you know what? When people think about themselves, they generally think, and I talk to a lot of people. Most people, unfortunately, it's probably like 70, 80% of people when you talk to them, they have a negative self-image. And if you say, where are you going to go, or what are you going to do, where you want to be in a couple of years, or what's your picture of yourself, it's either bleak or it's always just out of reach. I'm so close. I was almost there, almost did. I remember this one time. You've heard it. Everybody says it. Like,
absolutely.
I just a couple steps away, a job away, the promotion away, but you're never there.
Right.
So everybody keeps this one vision that is arm's length away from them. And I thought, well, when you become that person, don't you just have a new set of goals? And so I thought, well, why don't we quantum leap up if we can put our minds into that person that has already accomplished the goals, then wouldn't these become elementary? And it works.
Absolutely.
And so if you can think of your vision now, and then we can figure out what your ideal vision is in a perfect world, doing, being, having what you want, then quickly the problems of today become monotonous. And you think, this person, you already have the solutions. You're looking back, you've solved them, and instantly it empowers you, and it opens different parts of your mind to think differently. A person that's never been innovative or creative will instantly think creatively.
Absolutely.
And so it was paramount to my evolution and understanding the mind, and to the direction of where I ended up taking my business, and that's how I created the Ideal You.
Incredible. I've heard individuals like Arnold Schwarzenegger state that they've mimicked and or put their mindset into someone that they looked up to at a certain time in order to help them get to the next level and become more successful.
Right.
So that's exactly what you just said, and I think that's an incredible point. So I've seen
you.
that very, very consistently across the board with other successful people. So
Yeah.
I'm going to also take that as well and use it for myself. So.
It's really truly amazing because you can create a vision of yourself and step at that in any time. And it's if you have the right vision, and you'll know it with integrity because it'll drive you, it'll excite you, and it'll associate feeling right. But if you can get that picture and you step into it, it's unbelievable how quickly you start to problem solve and become strategic in your thinking, and you feel better. And you can do the same thing by, like you said, you could. Sometimes there's people who have passed away who I respect, great Einstein, Jimmy Stewart, and things. And sometimes I will do a meditation process where I try to think like they think, and instantly I have thoughts and things that I hadn't before.
Incredible. So
don't know where it comes from, but it works.
That's wonderful. Evidently, it's natural for you.
Yes.
Do you find at times that you have clients or individuals that have trouble feeling comfortable with doing that thought process?
Yes, truthfully, I'd say 9 out of 10 when you start do. But that's because most people, the vision they're having is a vision of doubt and fear. So take into a place of not just thinking positive, but the ideal state for yourself. It's like saying, I'm 50 pounds overweight, I don't feel good, and no one loves me. And then saying, well, imagine that you're Adonis, and everyone loves you, and everywhere you go, they're just pawing after you like you're Angelina Jolie or Brad Pitt. People are like, it's contrary to you. There's a step I take people through, a process to get you there.
Right.
And the fun part is you're literally creating your future as if you'd be creating, a house you were going to live in or a business.
And I don't think they'd be able to handle all that attention overnight anyway. So that's good for them to be able to, to adjust and grow into
Prepare for the paparazzi.
Absolutely, that's perfect, incredible. Now, Brett, now for individuals who have other questions and like to get more information from you directly, how would they get in contact with you?
Great. A couple different ways. Masterthemasses.com, our main website, that'd be the best one. You can find us there. There's a lot of ways to contact us. My YouTube page is great. In addition to be able to contact me, we have some great material there, and we're constantly putting up new videos and tips on how to enhance your life and help you. And that would be youtube.com/IEMPOWERYOU. So I empower you. And you can also check us out on Twitter at /Brett Baughman.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Brett.
Thank you.
Now, LasVegasDailyPost.com. Check out our videos whenever you get the opportunity, and give us some feedback on Facebook as well, LasVegasDailyPost.com. Thank you very much. We look forward to getting more videos out for you guys.
Thanks, you guys.